Excuse me, y'all. I'm just waking up, family. I am just waking up. I'm just waking up. I am, and I keep saying it a lot. I'm gonna try not to be on too long, and I end up being on for hours. I'm trying to get back to my regular scheduled Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So, excuse me, because I'm messing with my other phone. For a lot of y'all that don't know who I am on TikTok, this is my couch conversation show. I removed the conversation part, right, to the couch talk show. When I say the couch talk show, keeping life real, on my show, we can talk a little bit about any and everything. Now, while I'm live streaming on TikTok, on my iPad, I'm live streaming to 6 other platforms. So all together with TikTok added is 7. And the only reason why I don't put TikTok in, and I've said it before, because TikTok is real sensitive when it comes to how you use certain words. So over on TikTok, you can't use like somebody was murdered. See, this the words TikTok wants you to use for unalive. You have to use the word smurdered. But see, on my regular live stream broadcast network, I can use the word murder or killed. But for TikTok's sake, we have to use that. Now, if I embed TikTok into my regular live stream restream, I don't know, they might not like flag me with certain things. They might not. I just refuse not to. Because if they flag me, I can still, I'll still stream on my regular broadcast network. I'll still stream. But for TikTok's sake, I have to use certain words. As y'all know, I don't have a problem on TikTok. If you invite me up to your platform, understand this, I'm about the truth and nothing but the truth. So it's not about you when I come up, but if you invite me up on your platform, y'all know that I'm going to share about the truth. I'm going to share about my experience personally. I'm going to share my experience. I don't care how you live your life, how you live your life, how you live your life. And if you choose not to be honest with you, that's you. Don't get mad at me. because I have no problem telling my story. And if anybody know me in Baltimore City and other cities that I deal with, they know Steve have no problem sharing the truth. That's my story. That's my life. And the reason why I do it, right, because you got a lot of men, children, which when I say children, I'm talking basically about our teenagers, youth, right? Who's going through certain things in life and they don't have an outlet to be able to talk about themselves or talk about what's happening in their life, you know, trauma or whatever, catch the words. So that's why I do what I do, because go back to the old saying, right? What's done in the house, stay in the house. And then you wonder why your children out in the streets acting, you know, a little wild. Because what's done in the house supposed to stay in the house, so they're out in the streets and they spilling out all that aggression. And then you wonder why. Well, see, I don't have to wonder, because I have no problem talking about the old saying. What's done in the house, stay in the house. No. Because if you have children that's being hurt, that's being raped, I started platforms where they can talk about their life. Now, they can't be too specific, right? That's why I have a therapist to come in. That's why most of the people that I use have some personal experience and know how to, you know, coach them. Don't get mad at me because I come in with the solution on whatever needs to be done. And I want to try to make this real clear for a lot of y'all who don't understand plain English. I'm speaking plain English. I had to learn to keep stuff plain and simple. And if you in your head trying to figure me out, that's your problem. You just lost me. Because you're trying to figure out what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is plain, simple English, layman terms. I break it down to its simplest form and it flies right over your educated head. I like to say educated, right? But we know it's educated. And it'll fly. I had to go down there and heat up. Eat something to eat. I baked some chicken Sunday. And be honest, I'm just getting around to eating it. But you know, I miss my mother. My mother passed away when I was 26 years old. I had 3 older brothers and 3 younger siblings as well. I basically raised my brothers and sisters. And what I mean in that sense, my mother had me to watch out for all of them. My mother taught me how to cook, clean, sew, all that. I asked my mother, I said, Ma, why did you teach me how to do this? Basically, she put adult responsibilities on me. when I was a child. And I asked my mother, I said, "Mom, why did you do that?" She said, "Just in case you don't meet a woman that will take care of you." I remember when my brothers and them was in like Boys Village, right? Hagerstown, Jessup, all of that. I was young, going to visit my brothers. Yes, yes, Shauna. Shauna, I miss Aunt Helen, Uncle Henry. I remember we used to have family gatherings like that, right? And this is my cousin on another live, on my live. Out of my mother gone, my uncles and them gone. Sharon Copeland on my end is the oldest family member. She like, I'm 63, she like 72. Abdul is 71, that's my brother. And then me. Everybody else gone. And Shauna is with her mother and her children. That's my cousin. That's my uncle's daughter. Well, family. So when I look back at it, right, other than that, I don't have no more aunts and uncles like that. It's Sharon, Abdul, and then me. And Shauna, you can count down from where you at as well because your mother's still here. But we don't have elders in the family like that. In this family, on my side, basically what I'm saying. When I look back at my nieces, my children, my nieces, my nephews, when I look at Shauna's daughter, single mother, taking care of her kids the way she do, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, we raised some hell of a kids. Her daughter just finished nursing school, I believe. My daughter is an LPN. My oldest daughter is an LPN. My youngest daughter work in a law firm. She get ready to get a law degree. She signing up for the University of Maryland. And I came from the streets. Our children live a great and wonderful fucking life for the way we raised them. But it came from our mothers. It came from our fathers. It came from the Copeland family. My children live a good goddamn life. Nothing like the way their father grew up. And I try to help other people understand that you can work with your children and turn their lives around. You can break that cycle. You can break it. What's up, nephew? sometimes I want to turn my back on us so bad. Because a lot of y'all, and I'm talking about our people, I ain't talking about the white man. I ain't talking about the Chinese man. I ain't talking about the purple man. I'm talking about you black people. You don't want nothing. You fight people that try to help y'all move forward. I want the best for y'all. I want to see y'all succeed. But you don't want to see yourself succeed. When I look at my son 22 years old, his goal is to be a professional soccer player. And he's doing everything he can to get there. I watch my cousin's daughter, oldest daughter, her daughter in college. She might be out now. She might have graduated now. But I look at this single mother doing everything she can to raise 4 kids, and she's doing an excellent job. She's doing an excellent job. And the only thing I try to do is give back to y'all for how we was raised, to be responsible, productive people. I done got to the point on TikTok, I done blocked so many of y'all. So many. Because I look how y'all making money off our people, pain and misery. So I started blocking a lot of y'all. Because I'm not here. I'm going to make money anyway. Because of my business adventure. That's not a problem. Anytime, if something is going on in Baltimore City, with the school system, with the housing department and all of that, if they need me to come out and speak, they will call me, Steve, can you come down to such and such and such on this date? I go. And I'm talking about a dude that come from the street. I know Brandon Scott very well. I know a lot of our politicians. Ivan Bates, our state's attorney. I helped him twice when he ran for state's attorney. He lost the first time, he got it the second time. And if you say, oh, he bragging, he boasting, you damn right. Because if you know how that feels when people see something in you. I got some people right now, Shauna, want me to work with them towards reparation. What was it? Restitution. I'm trying to make sure I get it right. Because I'm looking at reparation. But it's another word right there too. Restitution with reparation. Somewhere along that line. So I got some people with I Am Movement. I said I got y'all back. I'm in Baltimore City. These people somewhere else. But it's the movement. It's a political movement. I said I got y'all back. How many of y'all can tell them that? Because I know what I bring to the table with my team. I have a team. Then I get a call from another guy that ran for mayor, right? He says, Steve, I need you. Now he's talking about reparation, doing some things. Now I can't get too deep in it because that's their project. But he asked me to help them. How many of y'all people calling to ask to help them with certain things? So I said, okay, just teach me everything you want me to know. Because guess what? They want me to bring my team, Shauna. I know I was bad when I was in the streets, and I'm bad as a mother freaker over here. Don't get mad at me, because I'm good at what I do. And I normally fight against our politicians that create laws to cripple the people. But a lot of y'all don't understand. They are politicians. That's all they do is create laws. We are the ones that come with the solution. We are the ones that do the footwork to help people not break the laws so they won't go to prison. Y'all don't realize that? Come on, gorgeous. Y'all don't realize that? When you break the law, you go to prison. The laws of the lands that they create. Whenever you break them, you go to prison. So for people like myself that's on the street level, you got to come up with ways and means to help the people not break the laws that will cause them to go to prison. Even with the AB, right, where the women can't get such and such and such. I told my cousin, and I'm talking about cooking, Sean. Once they pass that law, we can ratify that bill. I wanted to know how long will it take us that we can change it. A guy told me soon as it come into laws. But now, it's the amendment. So basically what you're doing, you ratifying, they call it ratification, right? That law. So to let some of the women know you're not helpless and hopeless with your body. That's your body. But what you got to do, you got to find a politician that believes in your mission. But we got to come together as a collective group of people to get that bill ratified. Any law that Trump and them create, no, let me back it up. Any laws that Congress creates that will affect your life or your lifestyle as an individual, any laws they create, once it get into law, you got to get somebody into politics that wants to help it get reversed. But you got to find that politician in your area because they had to present another bill. And then you can get it ratified. Like in certain cities, you can't get, you know, the AB, I'm trying to watch the words, so please catch me. Because a woman's body, that's your body just like my body. This is my body. You don't tell me what to do with my body. You do not do that. The same with a woman. You do not tell her what to do with her body. That's her freedom of choice. That's your First Amendment right. Now, do y'all want me to go into my war zone with the amendments, with the constitutional rights? Those are your rights. But the thing is, y'all will steady do this when you got to get people to come together to fight for them to change it. Now, certain laws don't apply to all cities or states, right? So if a woman can't get something done in Baltimore, I'm just using this as an example, y'all. If she can't get it done in Baltimore, she might can go to Chicago. I'm just using that as an example. Because all laws don't apply to all, 52 states? Something like that. It doesn't. So you got to find out where that law actually applies. That's why I come on and I share the stuff that I do. Because what probably can't be done, say like in Baltimore or North Carolina, might can be done in Florida. You get me? So what happens, rather, you can't do it in your city or your state. Some of them might fly to Florida and get it done. Please catch what I'm saying, because I'm doing TikTok, and y'all know we got to use TikTok friendly words. I didn't understand a lot of this, y'all, until I got involved into politics. I didn't. And y'all got to understand, the politicians work for you. You don't work for the politicians. I don't care what position they in, they work for you. So when it's time to vote, and if they're not doing what you voted them in for, you can vote them out. So if you threaten them, since you're not doing what we voted you in to do, we're going to fire you. It's called firing them. Yes, you can fire them by not voting for them again, because they need your votes to do like another term or somewhere along that line. So you let them go through what they got to go through that first couple of years. Their goal is they're going to come back out. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I got you back. And they're fucking lies. Real simple. They are liars. And once that was made known to me, I said, you mother suckers. I don't care if they're Democrats. I don't care if they're Republicans. Once they get with the elite club, you don't even matter no more. Now you got some, and I'm going to show y'all one. Everybody want to bash Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, if I'm not mistaken, used to be a lawyer. So she knows, she got a degree in politics. She has a degree in politics and political science. Donald Trump don't. Donald Trump don't have a degree in political science. So basically what I'm saying, he don't know nothing about politics. He runs the United States of America just like it's his business, because that's what he do. It's business for him. He know how to play the freaking game. Y'all don't pay attention to nothing. He told y'all. He said, I am not a politician. I'm a businessman that happened to run for president. And I asked somebody, how was he able to do that? That's because of his influence. Do your daggone research. The man told y'all out his mouth. Well, he told us. Let me do it that way. This guy, what person go into, what person? Actually, I can't answer your stuff, but let me say this to you. You're not supposed to mix business and politics. So don't you fall for the hype. You're not. Because number one, I was going to run for the House of Delegates. And this guy that ran for governor, he said, Steve, I wanted the money, be honest with you, to put back into the community. He said, Steve, if you win, you're going to have to get somebody else to run your business. I'm like, huh? So that's why I understand. You cannot mix business and politics. Tell me I'm wrong, because guess why? Know why I didn't run, Alvin? I wanted the money to start rehabbing and revitalizing houses in the inner city. Kim Klacik got like $10 million from around the world to help her in her help her in the campaign, right? You can't use that money to do what we want to do towards the inner city. All right, Alvin. Because now look at this, Alvin. Look what you just said. I gotta go now. What you just did, right? When I say the elite clubs, your billionaires and your millionaires, there you go right there, Alvin. Your billionaires, I like to say the billion. The powers that be took over the government. Guess what you said, Alvin? It's not Trump. Trump is a puppet. I know you know that, right? There you go. Thank you. So actually Trump is a puppet, right? So you just said it. You know the powers that be. The powers that be is your major corporations. You saying it, Alvin. Certain things I can't say because I'll be giving out too much information, but you're right. It's the powers. Then you got the government that's ruling the government. You right, alive. I'm sorry. You right. And look, because I know where it's coming from to rule the government, just like what you said, and basically when you put up 1945, it started back when. So everything you just said, it's just certain things I can't say because I know what's going on. So what we do, Alvin, you have to fight against the rulers. You get me? I know you get me. Alvin, wait a minute. Let me get your name right. All right. So look, seriously though, you get what I'm basically trying to say, because I didn't understand all of that. I didn't understand, and I'm gonna tell y'all this too. For what Alive said, and I'm gonna say our billionaires. I'm gonna say our big corporations, your billionaires, stuff like that. They're not all white. See, y'all be sitting up here saying the white man this and the white man that. They're not all white. You got to understand, you got people from Iraqi, all around the world, that's billionaires, trillionaires, stuff like that. Those are the ones that's actually running the government. What Unalive says. See, certain things alive, and forgive me, man, because I'm bad with names and I have to come closer to read it. But if you do your research like he did, he went back to 1945. Now I'm gonna take you further than that. In the Bible, when God, when God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let my people go, they aren't your people. Did you realize God sent Moses to the politicians and the rich people back during that time? Because they was trying to enslave the Israelites. So it's repeating itself. It started way, way, way back then. So I thought Pharaoh was an individual, but it was rulers, like Alive is saying, right? They was rulers, your religious sectors, because what they do, I always have to separate it because it's called organized religion. Organized religion and politics is the same. The goal is to enslave and oppress the people. And everybody that they're doing that to is not all black. It's not all black. It's normally designed to harm the poor people that need their money the most. So the goal is to cut out a lot of these programs where their tax dollars, your millionaires, your billionaires, stuff like that, their money goes towards a lot of these government fundings. So now the goal is to cut out these programs. And be honest, they're going to cause a lot of homeless, a lot of people that's not homeless is going to become homeless. Right. The Israelites have, wait a minute, the Israelites have little mythology. Right. But I got you with that because I didn't pay a lot of attention to that live. But 2 years ago, when I went back into reading the Bible from the beginning to the end, I started seeing how life repeats itself. You get me? So even though it's considered as a mythology, it's real. It's real because it repeats itself. And I'm like, oh my God. Just like, I'm going to say this live. I was listening to this professor, and we think that slavery started 1619, 1591 live. Read that, the War of 1591. Because I know you do search. I know you're a researcher. Read it live because it blew me away. You're right. Stolen legacy. It's just like anytime y'all hear, yeah, read that live because that live, that's got me, man. I'm like, what the what? But look, that's why I said they don't want us to know. Just what live is saying, they don't want us to know. If you read about any, say like creator, like what was his name that created the phone? Bell, Lawrence Bell? No, it was a black man that had that pattern too. And he had the pattern, Lawrence Bell, he had the pattern for the light bulb. It was a black man right there beside him with his own pattern. But they won't they won't tell us that. Any automotive company like Ford, if they make you think Ford was the first designer, no. Keep reading deeper, you'll find out it was a black man that was right there too. And I'm going to share this too, right? Columbus, supposed to discover America. You know, America was already here. But during that time, it was a black man that was traveling with Columbus. It was already here. And I believe live probably already know that, but that's some of the stuff that they don't want us to know. You remember what Kendrick Lamar was singing? They don't want us to know. It's not a design out there that a black person did not have a pattern with it as well. They just didn't name them. I mean, they didn't, promote it. Yeah. And see, you know what happened live? And you know what, Scott? I'm going to tell you like this. Trump is a sucker, bro. Trump is a sucker. Since you want to come up on my page, Trump is a sucker. I'm going to make that real clear to you. He's a sucker. And if you want me to take it there, you remember them pictures with them young girls with Trump and Epstein? I remember them pictures when I was younger. I remember them pictures. Trump is only 15 years older than me. I remember them pictures when I was coming up. And you taking up for a grown man. And I got to watch it for TikTok's sake. You get me? I remember them pictures. So a lot of them women that saying what happened to them, they aren't lying. Now get off of my goddamn going live stream, bro. Cause I'll block your. Y'all killed me taking up. Ooh, excuse me. Taking up for this sucker. He ain't no different than R. Kelly. He ain't no different than what's that other boy named P. Diddy. He's no different. The only thing with Bill Cosby was going after grown women. But still, he wasn't no different. And back in the days, whenever we went for somebody, we would give you stuff to soften you up. If you don't know about the game, sucker, get off my goddamn platform. You are a booty kisser. Talking about Trump is not you. You are a puppet, not Trump. Trump a coon, sucker. And I'll tell him that to him in his face. He might scare you, he don't scare me. I remember Trump from the days. And to be honest with y'all, I'm going to tell you this. When I first heard him years and years ago when I was with ACN and he opened up his mouth, I said, oh my God, he's part of the mafia. And that's the game he's playing, white boy. That's the game he's playing. Excuse me, y'all. That's why I have to watch my mouth. Because I come from the streets and I know where he come from. And I hate the way they play us. And if you still right there, Scott, a lot of people know a lot of people know what happened to Charlie Kirk. The moment it happened, I knew what it was. And if y'all pay attention to those videos, that will remind you of the same stuff that happened with the guy that's supposed to have did his ear. Y'all don't pay attention to nothing. That's why I didn't go live after that happened to CK. Because I would have went in that area. The moment it happened, I knew what it was. And a lot of us knew. It's the blind ones that don't understand. And I was really, really disappointed. I was hurt for that young man. 30 years old. Didn't he have a chance to really live his life? Now, this is what I talk about on my platform. Sorry, y'all. He just took me to another area. My heart went out to that young man. I might not have liked his talk, but that was his way of doing things towards the younger generation. Now, I am an ordained deacon. I serve in the body of Christ. I'm a human rights advocate. I fight for people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. And when I say people, it's not just geared around the black race. The organizations that I'm with, we fight for your rights. That's why my heart went out to this young man, because I know when you speak against a certain thing, there's a good chance you can, lose your life. I already know. That's why my heart went out to him. Then when you turn against your opposition, watch your back. Watch your back. I watched everything they was doing. Hand signals and all that. They was codes. Don't come back up on my live stream no more. I had to block that sucker. Don't come up on my stuff. I don't play that. I don't play that. Now let me try to get back to intermission. Now, I miss them days when we used to go to my uncle's house, my mother and them, all of them, because we would do Thanksgiving, the holidays and stuff like that, right? See, I grew up during that time when we had the village. See, a lot of y'all don't understand what the village is. I grew up during that time when we had the village, me, my cousin, and all of us, right? Where you respect your elders. You respect your teachers. That's the era I grew up in. And my children, even though they're grown, they know right now today, if they disrespect their elders, well, they out of school now and all that stuff, college-wise. But if you disrespect your elders and you disrespect your school teacher, because they was the ones that was teaching you and everything, educating you. If you did, my mother had no problem coming up to school if you did something wrong and popped your butt. She would pull you outside and pop you. Ask my kids about dad. Now, if my kids say like you do something to them to offend them, they have the right to offend themselves. But the goal is not to disrespect you. But if you come and you come and you come for them, they're going to take up for themselves. Real simple. So if you tell me my children did this, my children did that, I'm going to call you a liar. Because I know the way I raised them and I know the way they perceive themselves. I already know that. They're not the type of ones that go out there and instantly get mad at you and fight you. I already know that. But when it comes to them protecting themselves, yes, they was taught what to do. So if you try to tell me about mine, I'm going to call you a liar. Now that they're grown and they still know, respect your elders, stuff like that. Excuse me, y'all, because I'm trying to put something to eat on me, right? They're not dummies. They're not to be get over on. It looked like something on the side of my arm. Let me see. The same way with my grandkids. My oldest daughter, that's a goddamn shame. I can't even remember what age my grandson is, right? But he's over 16. I know that much. But look, and he played football. So if he disrespects somebody, believe me, his mother gonna, you know, stand up. But it's not to disrespect you. But if you disrespect her child, what you think she's supposed to do? We have most of our children, I can say this now with Shauna as well, are professionals. They are in the professional fields. I got, well, my nieces, all of them, let me just put it like that. All of them live conservative lives. And what I mean when I say that, because I'm not looking at the politics, right? When I say they are very independent, responsible women, they carry their own weight. That's how most of the women in our houses are, for the Copeland family. The women are more responsible than some of the men. And it's not to knock the men, not to knock the men, okay? It's the women in the Copeland family that's more independent, right, than the men. Now, I'm looking at my uncles and them because they was good examples of how you would want to live your life, but nobody was perfect now. But they was good examples because of the rules, the morals, the value, the morals, the values, the principles that our parents taught us. Our parents taught us the difference between right and wrong. I can't make it no simpler. Those are the morals, values, and principles. Godly morals, values, and principles. Just like I try to tell y'all, when I say I'm a Christian, I'm saying to y'all, I am a loving, caring, kind, considerate man. That's all. It's not based around the religion. I'm a loving, kind, considerate man. Now, y'all want to talk about Lucifer? Y'all want to talk about the devil? Piss me off and watch that side of me show up too. That's part of my character. That's part of my personality. That's part of me as a human being. I have a loving, caring side and I have a destructive side. What was Lucifer? He was created good, but then he became rebellious towards the Father. That's all he did. Y'all the one make him out to be a monster. But you got to look at yourself, your own characteristics, your own makeup as a human being. See, I didn't understand all of that at first. That's why when I say I can be a rotten, no good son of a sea biscuit, that's just, I'm talking about the individual. But I can also be an angel. So now who we talking about? And I'm not trying to take nothing away from the Bible, and I'm not trying to add nothing to it. But the Bible is for the individual. Basic instructions before leaving this earth. That's God's way of preparing us. You know, no matter what you do in life, it's okay. But correct your mistakes. That's all. You're going to fall short. And I'm not talking about nobody else. I'm talking about basically, let me say me. It's a lot of the stuff that I used to do that I was stuck in. I just don't do today. I don't do it. It don't feel right no more. At 63 years old, a lot of the stuff that I did as a child, as a teenager, as a young man, I just don't do today. I can do it if I want to, but I just choose not to do it. A lot of the stuff I grew out of. So when we go into scripture, right, y'all looking at everybody's stories and what's supposed to happen back then. And I'm saying this whenever, and I try to use examples, right? I'm in January the 26th, right? January the 26th, I will have 33 years clean. 33 years clean. Why are you saying that, Steve? Because for 19 years, since I was 11, I was doing that right. I didn't get clean from all that other stuff until I was 30. So I have 19 years of living that life. But now I'm coming up on 33 years of living this new way of life. So whenever I talk about, or whenever you read the Old Testament, that's my old testimony. What's up? What's up, fam? You see Shauna up there? That's my old. Whenever I open up my mouth and I talk about my past, that's my Old Testimony. That's my Old Testament. Now, when I open up my mouth to talk about the new, I'm talking about my New Testament. That's what your life is about. You have an Old Testament, you have a New Testament. You have an Old Testimony, you have a New Testimony. So anytime I open up my mouth, I'm sharing with y'all, thanks family, I'm sharing with y'all how I used to be, and I'm sharing with y'all how God turned my life around. Y'all will miss it every time. I'm sharing with y'all how I was able to repent. God delivered me. God delivered me from the smugs and the alcohol. I didn't do it personally myself. I yelled out and said, God, please help me. I don't have the desire. That's the difference. Just for the day to use. So when I talk, a lot of y'all miss it. But I'm talking about how God worked in my life or how he works in my life. When I say stuff like I was once lost, y'all miss it. But now I'm found. When I say I was once blind, but now I see. I was blind to a certain lifestyle. My eyes are open now. I share that with y'all all the time. Basically, I'm preaching Bible. You don't catch it. You don't catch it. But I'm bringing it down into simple layman terms. Simple as possible. And it flies right over your head. A lot of people will catch it if you're connected with me. But if you're not, it's going to fly right over your head because you're too busy in your head. Oh, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say that way before I finish. You already got an answer. So that's how I know you're not listening to me. You hear me, but you're not listening. See, I don't have to be on the pulpit. This is my pulpit. I'm in the streets. And it really blows your mind, right? If I tell y'all I'm an ordained deacon, I got ordained deacon. I do everything that Jesus and the apostles came into the community to do. You got to understand your purpose. You got to understand your calling. Look it up. It's in Acts. Why they called the 7 deacons. Because their goal was to go out and teach, preach, minister, stuff like that. Our purpose is to go back into the city and uplift the city. But if you read the Bible, it's going to say widowers, to feed them, clothe them, house them, stuff like that. That's what I do. I share that with y'all all the time. It flies right over your head. I'm walking in my calling so that my pastor can preach. The elders can continue doing what they're doing. The ministers can do what they do. They pulled us together to go back into the community as a whole to serve the community. So if I call myself a deacon and you understand my position, I'm doing exactly what I was called to do. You'll call me everything in the book. Oh, you sleeping with this? You sleeping with that? No, he's not. And guess what? If I wanted to get some poo-poo in the church, I can get it. I just don't step across those lines. But y'all will label me. And I can't blame you now. Because if you're used to people in the ministry using their title to take advantage of you, that's not what I do. If I want to, I can. If I want to, I can. If I want to, as a single, handsome, bald-head, black dude that's going to dress nice, I can go right into church and run through it. That's not why I go there. I go there to hear the word of God in the fellowship. I might see somebody, and be fine as all outdoors. And I'll be like, ooh, ah, ooh, and then it'll hit me. Stop lusting, Steve. That's where the sin coming at. When I start fantasizing and daydreaming about you, when I start like lusting on you, that's the sin. I can respect your beauty for what it is. I ain't even got to flirt with you, get fresh with you, because number one, I have to respect you as a human being. That's not a problem. Because when I dress to go to church, I know 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get attention anyway. It's not that I want you or anybody in that sense, but I know the way I love to dress. And because of that, yes, I'm people, not just the women. Some guys are like, man, I like that hookup. They ain't saying I want you, Steve. And I know that's what they're going to do. And a lot of the women's be like, ooh, I like those shoes or I like those socks, because it's how you match stuff. And not only that, a lot of them do this, because check this out. If you know what, this is a cologne that I wear every day. Every day. Look at it. This is a cologne I wear every day. This is a cologne that I only wear when I got on my suit and ties. Or I'm going to an event in the community and I'm well dressed, I wear this. Now, I think I had this for a little over a year. So I only wear it when I'm, dressed up in my conservative mode. Mainly when I got on my suit and tie, okay, I'll wear this. I wear this every day because I used to work in this, and it's a scent. Whoa! And a lot of times women be like, oh, you smell nice, or you look nice. Now, mind you, I love the compliment, but I already know. That's why I put it on. I won't tell them that, but I already know. Now, this is another, you see this? This is something that I might spray on too. It all depends on where I'm at. But this is stuff, it's not real strong. It's like mild, just to get a little attention. This is another one. Now y'all see, it says Solar Stone. Now y'all see, this is not the $300, $400, $500 boxes of cologne, because too many people buy them. But I guarantee you, you let somebody buy cologne that's 300. I mean, yeah, 300, something like that, 150. I guarantee you, you smell them, and then you smell me, you're gonna be like, oh, that's nice. And this is a $10 bottle. Look, my friend, it was a friend of mine that had on limousine. And I was buying all expensive colognes and stuff, right? And when we would go past women would be like, "Oh, you smell nice." They was telling him he smelled nice. They wasn't telling me with my expensive cologne on. So I stopped buying a lot of expensive colognes. Y'all can continue spending all that damn money. But keep in mind, it's the fragrance. And it has to match your body scent as well. So it's the fragrance. And once I started realizing that, now I don't think I ever found limousine in Baltimore City, but I would get it from DC. And during that time, it was only $5 a bottle. And I was spending all that money for expensive stuff. And once I started buying that, because it's just certain things is different, right? I would tell guys, because I brought gators and all that too, right? I would tell guys that I have shoes at home that will eat their gators up. You know why? Don't too many guys in Baltimore City wear the type of shoes that I wear. You can have snakeheads, you can have gators, you can have whoever. And I guarantee you, you just spent about $1,500 for your shoes. I might have spent $150 for mine, and I get more compliment than you would with your own shoes. Because most guys that, gators, snakes, snakeskin, this is like a fashion for most guys. But when I come in, I guarantee you yourself gonna say, man, where you get them shoes from? And you might think I done paid about $2,000 for my shoes. I'm very fashionable. Very. I don't dress like most 63-year-olds my age dress. I love the Italian style. I love tight fit stuff. I didn't say skinny. I love for my stuff to like hug me and shape me, right? Now, if I want to button it up, I will, because I want that tight fit. But if I choose not to button it up, bam. I turn my regular ties into bow ties. And they're very colorful. Thanks. These are my regular ties. Now, guess what? You might see one solid colored tie, but they all have different designs and stuff like that in them, right? This is my regular ties. These are my bow ties. From the regular ties, I flipped into bow ties. I learned how to put them into bow ties. Now, once again, you don't see, and it might be one, but you don't see a solid tie right here. I'm flashy. Now watch these. Watch this. Now, y'all just seen my ties, right? You just seen my ties. Look at my socks. I might have some, but I don't wear solid socks too. So whatever my ties are or my bow tie, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna they're gonna clash. You get me? They're gonna clash. I like being real flashy. A lot of guys my age don't dress like I do. Look at this right here. How many men you know might wear purple socks? And what I'll do, I'll get a tie or a bow tie that complements this. Look at that. I don't really like solid stuff. Now, back in the days when I used to wear Smokey Joes and that type of stuff, yeah. I just grabbed some. I like colorful socks. And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of guys in my church that's real flashy. I'm talking about like our ministers, elders. They real flashy. Like when y'all see some of the black men with the wide hats on or whatever like that, black men dressed maybe like the 1940s and stuff like that. That's the way we carry it. Or the 1930s. And look at their outfits. Some of them might have like they call tight fitted clothes, right? Like your dress pants and stuff. Now, when I started wearing suits, I used to have to get my suits tailored. So what I do now, I'll buy a blazer and I'll buy a pair of dress pants because my waist, like up top, is bigger. And my waist is like, right now, my waist is a 34. Up top, I can fit an extra large now. Well, when I buy, I can fit a large, but I buy an extra large because of my chest. So I don't want it too. You get me? But now, that's how I had to do my stuff because my waist always been smaller, but I'm more bigger up top. So when I was wearing maybe a 6X blazer, my pants was 51. So I had to get everything taken in because my waist was actually 46. So now my waist is actually a 34. I lost a lot of weight. Now, like I said, it all depends on where I'm at or where I'm going, right? See these? And my length, my pants lengths are 32s. I get them taken up to a 31. I mean, a 30. Because I want you to see my socks. Oh, these are black. But these are black. Now, and if I want to wear all black, I'll do this. But I got a lot of shoes. I got a lot of shoes. A lot. And tennis shoes too. But I'm a very, very flashy guy. My wife and my children are the same. So when I step out, I mean my ex-wife, I keep saying wife, but when I step out and I step out with my family, we step. We step. We step. Tell him. I even take my son, say like if they having a special event somewhere, my son would tell me, Dad, can you take me shopping? Because he want me to, he likes the way his father's dressed. So I already know what he wants. And that's my only son. So when my son and my daughters, when all of us out, like I said, we compliment each other. And please, when I talk about myself, when I talk about my family, I'm the best representation for my family that can be. They are my family. And they know when daddy step in, daddy step in. When I'm in Baltimore City, any event I go to, or if I'm called to speak at City Hall, Annapolis, DC, I'm a dress. I'm going to dress. Because now we're talking about a certain group of people that you're dealing with. Your professors, your doctors, your lawyers, your politicians. So a lot of the stuff I say over here, or I might say on my live, is not the way I act in the street when I'm dealing with, our elite club. Don't get it twisted. What's up, Walker? Don't get it twisted. When I'm with our mayor, when I'm with any of our council members, when I'm with I don't give a freak if it's Donald Trump and them. But if I'm invited to an event, I can't get around them and act ghetto. But if they look at my lives, they know Steve real. They know me point blank. What I'm saying with the way I come. They know I'm not the type of guy you can just get over on. They know that. That's why I try to teach our men, and well, the women normally do it anyway, how to stand firm on your morals, your values, your principles. Don't sway them. Because the moment they spot you in that sucker mode, they got you. You mean to tell me the administration? You got to know how to play the field. You got to know how to play the game. When I tell y'all I come from the streets, my goal was to be one of the biggest hustlers by the time I turned 26. It didn't work. So what I did, when God removed me out of that, flipped it around. flipped it around. I can say this on my live. Strengthen the community. Strengthen the community is my LLC. I'm going to do it again. Strengthen the community. That should tell you, ding, ding, he's doing work within the community. If I tell you I'm a human rights advocate, he's doing work in the community. If I tell you I'm a community activist, he's doing work in the community. If I tell you I'm a community organizer, he's doing work in the community. If I tell you I'm a homeless advocate, he does work in the community. He's about building back up in the inner city community. He's about fighting for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights in the community. Who do he normally fight against? The ones that pass down the laws that can cripple the people. They are just titles, family. I wear a lot of hats, but it's all about building us up. Strengthen the, and not strengthening, it's just strengthen the community. I have a housing program where I house homeless, less fortunate individuals and families. My clients are independent, so they're getting either SSI, SSDI, or they're getting TCA. Some of them work, but they just can't afford the regular rent. So my goal, connecting with housing, is to help them get into a low to moderate income house that they will pay according to their income, Section 8 for some. And a lot of y'all don't know that with a Section 8 voucher, you can purchase a home. You can buy a home. Some people, it all depends on your medical condition. We can get you in like a senior citizen place, or we can get you somewhere where you won't have to pay at all. Medical assistance will pay for your housing. Now, I can share this on mine because this is what I do. A lot of people, if they let me up on their platform, they don't want this information to be fed to y'all. Because the moment I open up my mouth, they be like, don't promote this, promote that. No, I'm not promoting. I'm letting people know the programs out there that can actually help you. So what they do there is shut me down real quick. Now, when I said strengthen the community, right? And I said something about my housing program. The name of my housing program used to be the Ambassador of Housing. That's me. But when my sister passed away, I named it after my sister, the LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope. And it will go on to tell you the population that I normally work with is the ones that rely and depend on government and state assistance the most to help them become more independent where they won't have to. But you got to be willing to do the necessary work. What's up, nephew, to turn your life around? I can't force you. If you talk with me and you say, Mr. Steve, I want to do this, I want to do that, my goal is you got to be the one that make the changes. I'll bring you in because of what you said. Then once you come in, I give you a month or two later, now you're going to start bucking. You fighting against your own self. You're not fighting against me. You fighting change. to become a better person. And yes, throughout the years of me doing this, we have gotten people in their own places. If your mother, your father, your uncle, your aunt, and them don't want you in their house, if they don't want you in their house, if your mother, your father, your uncle, your aunt, and them, and you got children, they don't want you in their house, they don't even want to be bothered with their grandkids because of you. So who do y'all come to? Big Unc. Because the goal is to help you put your life back in order. Read my stuff. Now, I just sit here and told y'all, Strengthen the Community is my LLC. The LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope is my housing program. Before you come into my housing program, you have to sign up for the mental health program. Now, everybody that signs up for the mental health program might not have, certain mental disorders. You might be dealing with depression, just little simple stuff, right? But a lot of the people I talk with, they might be dealing with bipolar, schizophrenic, all of that. I recognize that. But the goal is, now the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking for like holistic people that knows how to work with this without the meds. Because I find that amazing when they can use roots, other stuff to help you with coping skills. That's what my business is about. I'm going to point you in the direction of the professionals. Some of them, like the holistics, look, I was waiting on this woman, right? Because I was going to let her do a garden in my spot and everything, right? Acupuncture table, massage table, all that, just make sure she had her own office. But she never showed up. People talk a good game to me, y'all, but they don't show up. Now, mind you, I got clients. I get clients. I'm referring my clients to your business. So if you talk to me, and if I got 50 clients to send your way, that's how you make your money. Actually, a lot of y'all might not know, but if I refer my clients to you, listen to the word I'm using, refer. Actually, I'm contracting you to do a job, and you're going to pay me a percentage. That's how I make my money, Christy. So I'm giving you service. Christy, if you tell me you are, because I was listening to you the other day, baby girl. If you tell me you are licensed, because you got to be licensed to work with me. You are the professional, like therapist, PRP, psychiatrist. The reason why I'm saying that, if Christy come to me and she is licensed, she's certified medical assistant, she already know she will bill Medicaid for her service. So if I give her 20 clients, she will bill Medicaid for those 20 clients. I just sign off on her paperwork. And it's medical assistants that will pay her for her services, not me. The only thing, it all depends, because I know how much some of them get, so I can't go too deep. But I'm contracting you to work with them. Even if you call me and you say, Mr. Copeland, I want to teach them, I want to come in and teach the clients how to cook. Well, volunteer. If you tell me you want to volunteer, I'll be like, come on. Because if you come in, Christy, to volunteer, my goal is to get you the actual funding that you need to get paid for your service. Because it's business. But if you say you want to volunteer, I know your heart is for the people. Now, this is my TikTok platform, and I'm over, yeah, I'm over here too, Christy. And TB, This is my live stream broadcast network that I'm on too. So actually, remember when I said T, I had my own broadcast network? TikTok is one. And right now, I'm doing a live stream too while I'm talking with y'all. So I'm live streaming to YouTube, 2 of my Facebook pages, Twitter, Twitch at one time. I'm live streaming to add this into 7 other platforms at one time. You get it? It's like a podcast. This is like a podcast, right? This is like my podcast. But it's considered as I have my own broadcast network. And then I have this right here. So yeah. Yeah, T. And I'm going to tell y'all, I ain't feel like coming on. Look, my T, remember what I was telling you? My regular broadcast on here is supposed to be from 4 to 4:45. But I tend to go a little bit longer, right? And over here, I've been on all of this, excuse me, for 1 hour and 33 minutes. But I actually, on my regular stream, I'm trying to stick to the time, y'all, like 45 minutes. But just like if T say she get ready to go live, I'll drop this and come over there. I'll cut all this off and come over and support her. Because I know she be putting up some good topics. She do. And that's my way of supporting another business person. I know. When I can hear when TB taught, my butt is, girl, look, go to sleep. Cause look, T, see, I stay up all night and I sleep mostly during the day. That's just my body. But now I'm trying to get back to regulating myself where I can sleep better during the night and be up more during the day. Now, my housing program, right? Because I have a staff, we had to move our clients out of this building. And I deal with real estate agents as well, Christy. And Christy, I heard you last night and you was preaching your butt off, girl. You were preaching with I Am Movement. You was over there. Whoa! You ain't know I was there, but I heard you, girl. But look, and I felt your spirit. I felt your love and your passion. And Christy, you reminded me so much of me when I heard you last night. It was awesome. Because I felt your passion, and I am about our people, sis. That's why Ben, Ben, you know I'm a part of their team, right? The I Am Movement. Now, Kingdom, this about my second time here in Kingdom. Yeah, this my second time here in Kingdom, right? So when it comes to, how can I put it, the history of us and everything he was talking about, that's not what's happening now. So I understand he had beautiful, great, and wonderful knowledge when it comes to the history of things. But it's like, how can we make the difference now? That's where I'm at, Christy. What you were saying, what I do is more about the solution, Christy. Yeah, thanks, Christy. I know, but I know when you said right, I know you got me. So that's where I'm at. And I know you know. Christy, is this my mouthpiece? Because you know I'm bad with names, baby. Is this my mouthpiece? Because you know what? Every time I say, God dang it. Every time I say something right, and if somebody don't understand, Christy will come back and clear it up. Like, well, actually, this is what he's saying. I don't know why, Chris. I don't know why. Because me and you was on something else, right? And you didn't click in that well. Oh my God.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Oh my God. And you hear I say it every time. Every time I hear you, I say you remind me so much of me and blah blah blah. And it never clicks in who I'm really talking to. Tell later. You can tell I'm getting old, Christy.
I told you, I said I pay attention to everybody. I said that last night. I pay attention to everybody in that whole entire live. I pay attention to everybody. I see what y'all doing. I see the footnotes that y'all taking, and I see the action that y'all putting in. I see y'all putting in that work. It's nothing I haven't seen Mr. Kingdom haven't done. I'm looking at Ben Lee. I'm looking at Missy Lee's. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at everybody that says that they are doing something. And I'm like, they're actually putting in that work.
Yeah.
In that work. And like I said, I don't want, and when Miss Elise was speaking last night, she put the files in my lap. Even though I am putting in that work, it just made me want to push harder. When she said, I got more years behind me than in front of me. Because that's like she said, I'm ready to pass the torch.
And be honest, it is so true.
Dr. Y and Mr. Darrell and, you know, these people, they're sick, but they're out here fighting. Why do we need, I mean, we should be the ones who are fighting. And the thing is that it's getting crazy. It's getting, it's not getting any better. It's getting worse because these children think that we have a place in these white people world, and we don't. And when we sit back and analyze what's going on, you don't realize what's happening until it actually, doesn't happen. And I don't want it to ever get to that point. And I asked him, I said, I have a few knowledge of certain things that I'm paying attention to. But I asked Mr. King last night, I said, if you can, could you help me to get where you are? Because I wanna put in that footwork too. I need the knowledge that you have so we can be side by side. See what I'm saying? I'm the younger one. Pass me that knowledge that you have, that I don't have. What you see, your eyes have seen that my eyes haven't.
Right.
So I can know, my eyes can have a little bit of perspective on what I should be doing. And he said, if it takes for him to come to Alabama, where I'm at, he'll do that. And I appreciate everything that he said.
And I don't want to cut you off, but when I listen to him, he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to history and everything. I want to put it like that. And that's why I was texting. I say he's speaking truth. But he's a wealth of knowledge. And when I was listening to him talking about certain other things, I was trying to see is he's actually putting it to work to help reduce. And I started hearing that too. I started hearing it.
Yeah, he put that bill. And that's why I said I watch each and every one of you.
Right. Because
he actually put in that work.
Yeah, I heard it. Come on.
So that bill that passed in California about the reparations, he started the foundation for it.
Right. Now, I couldn't go but so far because, well, y'all know what y'all got to do with me. But now,
I started crying so hard.
look, I caught it. But look, I can't go but so far. But what Ben is trying to do for the midterms, it's a little bit too fast for the people that I'm working with. I didn't tell him that part. But the guy that I'm working with that wants to do that's doing the same things, he used to be mayor. So he want me to team up with him. But by the time we finish doing everything, this would be for the next election as a whole, right? Everything Ben and I'm talking about, we got our own politicians we want to put in position and everything. But now, I can't talk like that here. That's why I sent Alicia my number so we can talk on another level. Because I asked my friend, I said, can I give them your number? Right? And he said, yeah. The reason why I'm saying that, I'm not going to introduce you to nobody that I know that's serious about the work until I really feel like you're serious about the work. Because what people have a tendency of doing, and I know our movement is dead, but people have a tendency of talking a good game. But I want to know, is everything is in order and all of that? And I asked somebody that, and they came for me. I was only asking you stuff because some things we have to get registered and all of that. So I want to know, is the paperwork is in order because we have to get stuff registered because they have to know what we're doing and where we're coming from. Now, what I understood from that night is, I'm a jack her name up, but Elise put everything in order. But that was the one that I actually needed to talk to. Because one, when you're doing what we do and you're known as a speaker or you speak out like Mr. Kingdom, we fighting against people that don't want to see change. Basically, the politicians, you already know.
Right.
And so I have to make sure that you're solid and you serious. But what I've been doing, I'll step in. I want to listen. I don't want to talk because I got to feel that your spirit, like with you, I know we here. And I got to feel is others there too. That's why I called you my mouthpiece because it's like we balance each other out, and I just don't get in on stuff with just any and everybody. But they have amazing team, and I'm talking about I Am Movement, have amazing team put together. But whatever, say like they might be doing in their area, I can actually help the message here in Baltimore City. See where they won't have to travel, excuse me, but so far. And I'm gonna say Alabama laws, California laws, in different cities or states is different. So I know how to,
All the laws are the same. It's just that
right,
they enforce different things and policies in that area.
right. And that's what I was sharing a little bit earlier, right? Any bills that they might say getting signed into laws, it actually take a while to kick in.
Yeah.
So and then you got to get the people to be obedient towards the bills, right?
Not, yeah, true.
Yeah, because see, laws is, well, anyway, if you commit a crime, that's all the laws are, the bills are. If you commit that crime, you get punished.
Well, the Catholic lady, a white lady, had told me over in Richmond, Virginia, a while back. She told me they supposed to be done away with locking people up, but the only reason why they haven't is because they have rapists. And I said, why not, unalive it? She was like, because sometimes some people, have to protect themselves, and they do understand that. But at the same time, because who actually run this organization, this world, which is Catholic people, because that's what the laws was founded on. The laws was founded on Catholics. Well, they after a certain period of time. So the thing is that, so when she was telling me that, she shared that information with me in secret.
Well, I need you to do this. You know the 5 books of Moses, right?
5 books of Moses. Oh, you talking about his commands?
You know the 5 books. Well, you got the 10 commandments, but then the 5 books of Moses is the laws of the land on how God wants us to live our lives. And if you break those laws, you get punished. Now, keep in mind, Kingdom kept talking about the 13th, the 14th, and I'm trying to see did he mention the 15th? Because anytime you break the law,
touched on that a little bit.
Right, but I heard him say 13, 14, 15. So I don't want to the 14th and the 15th Amendment that's what helped abolish slavery. But he mentioned the 13th, but it's the 14th and the 15th. So the only time you can practice slavery again is when a person commit a crime. And if you ever hear me say the prison is the biggest slave plantation in the world, you put them behind the bars and they become a ward of the state where you can use them the way you want. So you can start practicing slavery with them again. But they're all not black. Because if you look at the prisons, they filled with a certain percentage of blacks. Then you got Hispanics. Then you got all different, I'm going to say races, right? You even got Muslims. But now, once they are in prison, you can use them for cheap labor. A lot of people don't understand that slavery is just a point of cheap labor, cheap work. So now I can get you to work for me for basically free. I don't really have to pay you too much of anything. So we have to get out that box because the prison is the biggest slave plantation in the world.
But you got a lot of, coons, so-called coons, but there aren't coons. I noticed Super P keeps speaking on how they ate the mummies, how they ate those people. Then we keep overlooking it. But I just thought about the movie Get Out, right? If you think about it, those people actually occupying those black people's bodies.
You mean possessing?
Yes. That's why Tupac said what he said. Every brother ain't a brother, every sister ain't a sister.
Now, I'm going to share this with you, right? Because you know good and evil cannot live in the same house.
No, it can't.
Now, check this out. It's a dark shadow that normally attaches itself to the person. They're not in them. It's like they walking beside them like this. And I'll see that shadow. And I'll ask them, who are you and why are you here? So remember, good and evil cannot live in the same house. It cannot, because now we're talking about the body which possesses the Spirit of God. And then we saying it's a demon in there with God. No, that's not. No. Now, I thought I lost that gift of rebuking demons. And a friend of mine reached out to me and she said, Steve, you haven't lost the gift. She said, what you do, you look past the evil to see the good within that person. That's why you tend to work with them. And when she told me that, I realized I didn't ever lose it, because I will recognize you for who you is, but I will recognize that beautiful quality in you. And that's the side that I have to embrace and lift up. So that's part of the gift that I have of human insight. Kareem was on here. Kareem Ali was on here the other day. And he's like me. He told them everything he do. He said, I rebuke demons. But actually he's a spirit warrior. And I was telling them who he was, but they kept ignoring him. Because I know where he's coming from, because that's what I do. I tend to get loud. When I get loud, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking about that evil that's around you. It's not the person, but you'll keep feeding into it. So my thing is, I'll say stuff because I'm trying to get it up off of you. You can't see what I see, but that's a gift of human insight. That's one of the gifts that God's give to his people. When you read up about the 7 gifts, so you know when people speak in tongues, that's the way they just communicate with the Father and themselves. Then you got people who can interpret everything that they said to God because they are interpreters. So if you don't understand how God gives gifts to people as he pleases, right? That's why people don't read up on the gifts. But you have to read up on the gifts. Now, once your purpose is recognized, and with me, if you talking with me and we're on the same page, I can tell you about your spiritual gifts and help you to embrace it. Because most people will make you think because you're spiritually intelligent that you're crazy. You're not. And in some cases, that's why people have lost their minds, because they're steady trying to figure it out. Don't figure it out. Whatever the Spirit said, do. Because what God says to us doesn't make sense to the human mind. So I had to stop trying to figure God out. It's more like whatever he say do, just do it, Steve. Whatever he make known to you, just do it, Steve. So it is not the evil that housed the body, because it's the Spirit of the Lord that's in there. But it's like when that father comes to rebuke that demon having taken complete control of the body, it just attaches to you, and it does what it does because it's in control of you. That's why that priest will start rebuking it. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you, and it'll start doing this. Because what he's doing, he's washing that evil away from you. And sometimes it'll take a while to get rid of it. So that's why you have, I'm looking at the word I don't want to say circumcision, but circumcised. Wait a minute, you get me? Yeah, because I will ask certain priests, do they still do that? And you might hear one say once in a while they might have to go out and do it. But believe me, Christy, early on in my walk, a lot of this stuff I did not see. But as I began to grow in my journey, and I'm going to say trials and tribulations, which some people might not understand, trials and tribulations, they say they come to make you strong. So anytime you're struggling with anything in life, sometimes God is moving you to another level, spiritual level. So he will allow you to suffer for right there, because I got another step I want to take you. So whenever I'm going through certain things and I realize, why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Then I realize that's God, and he got a greater purpose for me. So I try to go through it without complaining or whatever, but that's why we got to pay a lot of attention to like trials and tribulations, why it happens to us. You got people that's in the ministry that really don't go through nothing. I don't understand it, but they don't go, or they talk like they just don't go through nothing, which is a big lie, because that's the way God grows us. I'm going to say spiritually, through our trials and tribulations. They come to make us stronger.
So a lot of people, they lie just to hear themselves lie, because, I don't know why YT people do it, but I know I could kind of give you a reason why I think black people do it. Black people want to be accepted because of the fact that all of these years of being let down and put down in everything and every situation. So by them needing that acceptance in life, actually, oh, I graduated with 4.0. I graduated with a 3.8 or whatever. Or I got a master's degree. I got a PhD. You know, things like that. Those are those things that make other people feel less than because
Right.
they want people to accept them.
Right.
They have to be accepted in society. And I'm just sitting back thinking that that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for our Black people to understand or come together.
Right. Now, remember what you said is considered as low self-esteem. And when you start valuing yourself, nobody is greater than you. I don't care who they is, how much money they got. But when you start valuing yourself, you'll understand it's not about your material wealth. It's not about your finances. Wait a minute. And the reason why I'm saying that, because years ago, dealing with low self-esteem, I had to tell myself, even though Michael Jackson, you know, millionaire, billionaire, famous, all that type of stuff, that didn't make him any better than me. He's a human being. That's just his profession. Even though the president is the president, that didn't make him no better than me. But his profession and where he's at and his position. But he's a human being like me. And I had to start believing in that and stop putting people above me. I had to stop. And in the Bible, it talks about winning favor in the sight of God and then man. And I realized I was trying to win the approval of people, like you were saying, and not God. But I had to flip it. So everything I do, I pray that it's his will. But I understand today, right? What I do is to please God first. And man will see it. But because I talk about it a lot, you're hearing it from me, but not realizing that's only because of how God built me up. And not just what I say out my mouth, Christy. Everything I say out my mouth, I'm actually doing. And I can walk you through everything I say. Because that's what I do. I tell people this too, Christy. My actions speak louder than anything I could say out my mouth. And I was taught that too. Wait a minute. With the business aspect of everything. It was a lady told me, she said, Mr. Copeland, because I'm talking. She said, people need to see your work as well. Hey, what's up, Dante? She said, people need to see your work as well. Because they hear what you're saying, but they need to see what you're doing. And that's why I say my word. Now, Dante Wiley is my educator in the housing program. Now, we already know, well, I'm going to put it like this, because that's my sidekick. I want another building, and he already know that. I want another building, but I want everything in my name, because as an educator, I need him to educate our people. So I got to make sure this time when we move into another spot, he can come in and provide those services that he's already doing. Right? I'm sorry, Dante. Pastor. I have a pastor. So wherever I go, I got to make sure it's space in there for her to come, like, and do her ministry. He's part of my team. So now I do believe that God has a bigger and better place for us. That's why I'm going through what I'm going through now, because he's transitioning me. But now, it's not about me no more. Dante is willing to come in and educate people, tutor, all of that, right? So this is who God put in my life. So the next spot we get on that level, I got to make sure it's a space in there for him. His own personal office plus a space where he can teach classes. So that's what we was doing at the other building, but some stuff happened where God moving us to the next level. So he's been sticking with me, and I thank him. I thank him because no matter what, I know what he can do. And most importantly, what Dante said, he want to further educate our senior citizens.
Mm-hmm.
When he told me that, I was like, whoa. Because now we got the younger people, I already know that. Now, once you get a facility and he's willing to come in, and not just him, I'm quite sure he know other educators that has retired but don't have a problem with coming back, educating our youth. Not just our youth, our young men, all that. But now, because the way I'm looking at it, it's going to be a lot, and he is going to need assistance. But that's his baby. The goal with me, God is like provide the space. That's his baby to make sure he got the help. But I mean the people that will help him more. So that's why I'm not worried about that, right? It's just I don't know, and I know what God like I said this. I know what God is doing because He's transitioning my life. If you could hear my voice, I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath. I'm weak. I can't even walk too far, right? So it's like building back up my energy. But what God did, He shut me down. It's like, oh, I need you back to myself again. And everybody else was, huh?
Are you putting love back into your body? Are you eating healthy?
Yeah. It's not none of that. It's just, when God wants you to Himself, He'll shut you down from everybody. And that's what He did with me. So,
I'm glad
so
you brought that up, not to cut you off.
come on.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was fighting for so long to end up trying to get me a job with, and like God set me out of, he took me and put me on the sideline for about, I want to say about 5 or 6 months now. I've never been out of work this long. Never. And then all of a sudden I just ran into, I am moving. And I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And at first, I jumped on a live and we was talking or whatever. And I went out and I started talking to people over in my area. But last night, sometimes you got to wait until God gives you the instructions. And I was like, I was lost. But I know I had a passion to do something. But what? I didn't know where to steer the wheel. I didn't know where to steer the wheel at, but I just know I wanted to steer it. And last night he showed me through by Mr. King, and I'm like, you know what? I'm. There's no way I should fail. There's no way I can fail with the right people in my hands. There's no way. God placed the right people in my hands. If I fail, that's because I was not doing what God instructed me to do. I wasn't following His orders. I did it the way I wanted to. And I'm a very rebellious person and very determined Because sometimes, like you said, you can let your determination for something cause you to do it your way and fail.
Let me know when you land your plane so I won't overtalk you. 2 years ago, I got arrested off some false charges and everything. That was God's way of shutting me down. My mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. So anyway, when I came home, I told my business partner that worked with ex-offenders and everything, real godly man. I said, I don't never want to step in front of God again. If you see me trying to step in front of God again, I need you to say something to back me up. So I said, I don't never want to step in front of God again. So his response was so plain and simple. He said, just don't do it. I was like, wow. One thing about me, I'm a very, and this came from the Holy Spirit, I'm a very strong, powerful man for the way he created me. So like you were saying, I want to make sure everything that I do is lined up with his will. It's his will. I'm just doing it. When I say this, when I got locked up, I had 2 houses. When I started back in this some months ago, we went from 2 houses to a 13 apartment complex. Dante, basically some people got into my business. I would start praying for some like-minded, God-fearing people, and they came against me. I'm talking about black people. I ain't talking about no white man. I had to let them go. They was trying to steal my business behind my back. They was having meetings at the buildings while I wasn't there. Then the lady that I was leasing the stuff from, I got to watch it because I'm on Facebook and they seeing me as well. She kept coming against me. She kept fighting me. But anyway, God backed me up. And when God backed me up, everything fell apart. And I believe he wanted them to see it. Because you stepping into a business you don't know nothing about. So things went really haywire. So he removed me from that place. But it was my team. Thanks, Don. Wait a minute. But yeah, he just sent me something back. He look, wait a minute, Dante, I already know. Wait a minute, no. I'm reading, I'm on another platform as well. But God put him in my life. God put Dante Wiley in my life. He's an educator. He put him in my life. I already know that. He put Pastor, because it's like my thinking is shooting. But the people that he put in my life, I know they are about the ministry. Now, I'm going to tell you how I knew Dante was really about his work. Dante came in to volunteer his service to educate the people. So I knew that was God because he's volunteered his time in his service. It wasn't about the money at first. It wasn't about that. But because he said, if he said he want to volunteer, I know he want to help the people. Right? In the process of him coming in to do what he do, once we get to moving forward, I will put in grant money for him for providing the service. But I need to hear he's willing to volunteer first, because it's not about the money, but I want to make sure he get paid. So that's why I hold Dante close to me. Pastor is another one, Dante. I'm trying to think of a few more. When you say you're going to volunteer, when you say I'll come in and volunteer my service, you taking the time out to help people turn their lives around. And we all know, mainly if you're a professional, we all know sooner or later it's about, I want to make sure you get paid. I don't want to put the money first, but I see you putting your service first. So that's why I'm keeping Dante close to me. Now, what I need with Dante, and I already told him, but it's us making that time together. My business proposal and everything, I'm going to need him to write again for me.
I hear you speak on Mr. Dante a lot.
Yeah, that's him right there, Dante Wiley. So because he's familiar with grants or whatever, he know how to write stuff. So what I need to sit down with him. 2 years ago, Dante, when they arrested me, they raided my niece's house and threw all of my paperwork away. So now I have to get everything back in order. And Dante is going to do it, because I need to get my business proposal straight. I need to have, like when I had my meetings, when I had my meetings with, say, investors, business partners, and sponsors, I need to give you a folder of everything. But Dante can tell me what to put in, what to leave out, because people will try to steal your stuff. So I know Dante know how to do that. And that's why when that time comes, I'm going to have to sit down with Dante, because I know how we supposed to structure business. And anytime I have a business meeting with other people to bring you in for us to work together, I got to show you everything about Steve Copeland, how much it costs for this, how much it costs for that. I got to run all that down to Dante. Dante got to put it in paperwork. We got to make prints of it and give it out to the people that come in. Now, everybody don't get my business portfolio, my business portfolio, I'm sorry. So Dante will help me understand what to put in, what to leave out, because you don't want nobody to actually copy your stuff. So that's what I need by Dante doing what he do. That's what I need Dante for too. Now you can read, you can check me out for the work that I do, like my business and everything, the structure and all of that. It's living proof, but I need it on paper again, because I had all of that. And what happened when they raided my niece's house, for whatever unseen reasons, they tore everything up. So now I have to get all that back together. So I need a professional like Dante that will do it, or I would actually I would have to hire somebody. It won't take them long. It won't take them long. Once I run everything down to Dante probably could get it done in 15, 20 minutes, because he already know what to do. It's just I need it. I need to have everything set up and my private vault. Then I'll make extra copies of what he did, but that is for my potentials. I'm sorry. That is for when we have our business meetings. Anybody that have a business meeting, like Trump, Elon Musk, and them, believe me, they give a folder out of what they're doing to their potential business partners, sponsors, and investors. But you don't do that with everybody. When you have your business meeting, it's more like private. So that's why I said, even when you put it in there, everything that it's going to cost you to operate that business as well. So he would have to put all of that in there, because I had somebody else to do it for me, but we didn't finish it. So anyway, I just got to run it down to him. He basically would know what to do. because he can go on everything I do right now and he'll put it together for me. But the only thing when it comes to the cost, because in my business proposal is about rehabbing and revitalizing houses. So you have to put in a certain amount that you would need to operate this and operate that. So he's going to put all of that in there. How much, I mean, would it cost me to operate that for that year as well? So he'll break it down. So he's good with that. I'm not. But when I first did my business proposal, I did it myself. And it was approved by the state and the government. That's how I got my LLC number. But Dante is more familiar. He can do it in, I'm gonna say like this. I guarantee you he can do it in a half an hour. I want to say 15 minutes, right? Because he already know what to do. But now it's the math part that we got to put into, like, I can't get really into it, but I know how to do it. But with me, it'll take a long time. But with him, shit, it might take 5 minutes. Because he's good at it. He'll go, here's Steve, and send it right to me. But now it's the when you adding up how much it takes to operate it, that's where the cost and all of that comes in. Because on that, he would have to do research on how much, say, the city might charge, or for this amount of work, I might can do it in a sense a lot quicker and better than what the city is charging. So he'll have to play with the numbers. Mainly if I send it to somebody for grant money. If I send it to like a grant writer, he can do that too. If I send it to a place to get grant money, I'm talking about millions. So now we're not talking about just dealing with any type of organization. Whatever Dante do for me, I need to send it to a philanthropist who believe in investing back in the community. So we're talking about millions, but it's people that know those programs out there that wants to improve in your inner city. And the Arnolds, Laura and John Arnolds, they are philanthropists. They invest back into poor communities. So they are one that I want to get with, because they was willing to pay $1 million at first to get that spy plane to Baltimore City. And when we went down to City Hall, they was willing, it switched from 1 year to 3 years. They was willing to cover that. Everybody thought that was coming out the taxpayers' money. No, it wasn't. That was the Arnolds. They are billionaires, and they have a office in DC, Dante, where I need to connect with like a one-on-one and let them know what I'm doing in Baltimore City. They will connect with the Arnolds. And I'm talking about millions, not 20,000, not 30,000, not 40,000. That's fine now, don't get it wrong. But I'm talking about millions for the project that I'm looking at. I didn't lose you, did I? Christy?
Yes.
I didn't lose you, did I?
No, I was sitting here listening to you.
Yeah, because the only reason why I'm saying it, because you have investors. But if somebody invests in your company, they want an interest. You know, they invest in their money. So when you deal with philanthropists, they're not asking for the money back. Did you know the difference in that?
No, I never.
Okay.
I need a philanthropist or whatever you call it there. I really do. I really need one for my cleaning company.
Right. Now you can use an investor too, right? Because now, are you earning a profit basically from your?
Well, I was, but like right now, my insurance and everything has collapsed. So I have to put the insurance back on there and everything in order for me to gonna be able to, you know, get back into full stride like I was.
And see, that's why I try to connect with people, Christy, because you have to know the who's of the who's of the who's, right? Because you got some people, say like somebody invests 1.5 million. Now I'm talking about invest. They invest 1.5 million into my housing program. And I would ask them, how much do they want back? That's the interest rate, right? They might say 1.5 million. They might say, give me 500,000 back. That's the investment that they earn. They earn from their 1.5 million. So then I will ask you, well, how long do you want me to, pay it off? You might say 2 years, or you might say that year, right? So the goal is, you gave me 1.5 million. I'm going to give you that 500,000. I'm going to keep your 1.5 million to invest it in something else too, and I'm going to give you back that 500. Because see, you earning the interest on your money. That's what investors does. So now you have to sit down and find out how long do they, want you to pay that interest rate money back. And then they might get to the point of saying, no, I want the extra 500 because that's the interest part of it. And I want my point.
It ain't doing numbers like that for me to be able to get no investments inside of it like that.
Right. Now, Dante, remember what I said about the numbers? Dante will be able to write that down, and I can hand you my folder, and you can read it, go through the paperwork and everything. But you got to give me a time frame on when you want that 1.5 million back. Then, because I got to make sure, if you only, you might only want, off of that 1.5 million, you might say, give me 500,000. You might just say, interest wise, you might just say 250,000. It all depends. So the goal is to give you back that 1.5 million plus that 250. So all together now is 1.5 million and 750,000 back. Because your interest is right there. And you profiting anyway, because if it was sitting in the bank, you wouldn't get that much back. So when you invest it, you're going to earn a faster return off of your investment. Now, guess what, Christy? I never went to school for none of this. This come from God. And this is how I do when I sit down with business people. It's like my mind goes, and I'm on one accord.
Let me tell you, you don't have to go to school for anything if you already have the ability. That's what people fail to realize. It only people that go to school for these things is the people that are actually interested in, intrigued by your gifts or abilities.
Thank you.
They want to do the same thing.
Thank you. I like what you said when you said the gifts and abilities. And remember when I said I was sitting in the balcony and the Holy Spirit hit me and said, I need you more out there than in here? It was the Holy Spirit that guided me to this. So if we sitting in a meeting, I'm going to share with you how God wants stuff done. If you try to sway it, you gone. You gone. But if you add to it, then we can move, and we are aligned. We are aligned. But I'm not going to let you come in for the vision that God gave me and try to turn it. No, this is what God said he want done, and this is how he said he wanted done. And you only adding on. Come on, Christy. The reason why I use, and I apologize, Christy. The reason why I use Dante, because when people talk about the school system itself, how they cutting out these programs and things like that, Dante is an educator. They can cut out all the programs they want. Dante will pick up the slack in the building. So that's why I don't worry about certain laws. because now watch this too. They talking about cutting SNAP. It's about 3 farmers here in Maryland that if they cut SNAP down some, I can go to those farmers and get vegetables to get back to the communities with my white box truck. So I don't worry about certain things. The goal is the solution to it. So you're not going to save everybody. But when it comes to certain issues in the community, my mind go right towards the solution. When they start cutting back on the educators, they can't hold Dante back because this is basically his profession. This is what he's certified in as an educator. So what you do, you open, like if I don't want to talk past tense, but the goal is to open up a multi-purpose center.
That one thing you don't want to talk to.
Right. But no, Christy, I see you when everything I talk about is educating the community. That's why I come under fire so much, because if you don't educate the community, they won't know where these programs are at. But I can only speak for Baltimore City. But now, say like Alabama. Where you from? Is you from Alabama?
No, I'm from South Carolina.
Okay. Now, I would have to know how the politics work in your area in order for me to come out and help y'all put things in order. Now, mind you, I'm not coming by myself.
Can I share with you a little bit of the history of South Carolina?
I mean, you can.
They give a lot of pushback from South Carolina with their votes and everything. That is, it may not seem like it, but the vast majority of South Carolina is owned by Black people. They have this island out there that isn't a part of South Carolina. And they have some other landfill that South Carolina have that a lot of other educators and Black people actually started, in a lot of land that's owned by Black people. So, and the fact that they have certain things in place to where they don't want to assist South Carolina with certain things, or they fight with South Carolina because they don't want the other states to actually know that South Carolina is the actual foundation and roots of all of the actual other movements. It may be a small place, a small state that many things are not happening in because of the fact that we don't have a lot of our brothers and sisters helping going down there and fight like they used to, coming from up north, to actually help, give a lot of pushback in the history of South Carolina. South Carolina was a Republican state at one time, but the Republican Black people down there didn't have enough funding like they're supposed to, and then it turned into it actually turned into the white T people, they turned from Democrat to Republican, and they switched from Democrat to Republican, and then they took over South Carolina, and that's how that state became a Republican state at one point. But Myrtle Beach is owned by a Black man. They got an island over there that's owned by Black people. Those people over there, they don't care for YT people. Not so much they don't care for them, it's just that they know the history behind what's going on, because our people don't leave us blind. And other states, they don't actually push to help South Carolina because all of they're looking at is, this little country's, southern state. No, but we're very true and think to our history and to our ancestors.
You ever heard of Whitmore, South Carolina?
Yes. I've never been there, though.
All right. That's where my great-great-grandfather land is from. My cousin Shauna Copeland left Baltimore, and they are up in South Carolina now. They sent me a picture of my great-great-grandfather's land and everything. It has an historical house on it. They rebuilt. They couldn't touch the house on the outside, but they rebuilt up in the inside. And they start building houses around it. I've not seen it yet, but I always heard about the land that my great-great-grandfather purchased. And we have the Copeland family living on it in Whitmore, South Carolina. And
I know some Copelands.
that's my family. Copeland, they my family.
Yeah, I'm just country, that's all.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But now keep in mind, Shauna's daughter and I started doing our history. My great-great-grandfather, father, was a white man, excuse me, was a white man. Now, Kenneth Copeland, I'm quite sure somewhere down the line we can. When you see the Copeland name, right? Restaurants and all of that. The Copeland name is not like a Williams. It's not like a Smith. But that's my great-grandfather's father's name, last name. So we carried the last name. But my great-great-grandmother, and let me make sure I say it right, was a Williams. So by right, to be honest with you, we are Williams. Because, you know, back in the days, they used to say mama's baby because the baby came from the mother. And daddy's maybe. Because unless you do a DNA and all of that, you won't really know who the father is. But the baby came from the mother. You can't take that away. So when I started doing my ancestry, I had to start from my mother, her father, then her mother, and her mother, we went on down the line towards Williams, right? Now, and that's not to discredit my grandfather. My mother's oldest brother, which passed away now, he was a Williams. So all of them came from the same woman, but two different fathers. So he was a Williams, and he carried that last name. And I had Williams in D.C. Well, you know, we got family all over. But anyway, if you don't know, and this is the way I was taught, if you don't know where you came from, you'll never know where you're going. So I had to find out where did I come from. I ain't talking about the Egyptian, the Israelites, and this and that and this and that. Look, I understand people studied this, they studied that. That's why they talk about, nah, we actually came from the Chinese immigrants, so we came from the Caribbean. I'm just using it, I'm just being sarcastic, but
I get what you're saying.
yeah, I was doing that. I was doing that, right? And I went back to the 1600s with the Copelands, right? And all of a sudden, it was like God took me to Jeremiah. And when God, first chapter, verse 4, when God told Jeremiah in a dream, God told Jeremiah, God said, I knew you, Steve Copeland, before the foundation of this world. I put everything in you that I called you to go out and do. Right then and there, I stopped searching. You know why? Because I felt like before he put me in my mother's womb, I was in his presence, spirit-wise, at some point. So I stopped doing all that. Because right then and there, I began to understand who I am or whom I am and my purpose. So if people do research and stuff like that, that's fine. I'm not pressed about that. But once he showed me, before you was put inside your mother's womb, I put everything in you that I called you to go out and do. And that's what I have to focus on. My goal here on this earth is servicing him. So people can go in there and say King Tut, Alfred Hitchcock, whatever. Or look, I ain't into that.
Hold on, though. I got to give you a little pushback. I'm not, I was just thinking, right? You said you got to know where you're going. You got to know where you came from in order for you to know where you're going.
Right.
And he also stated that he put in you. He put it in you.
Right.
So if he put it in you, right? So therefore, if he put it in you, there's no way that you can have pushback against yourself.
I don't have pushback. No, what I'm saying, I'm walking, I'm doing everything he called me to do.
So if you have the determination to fight and he put in your mind, because some people don't even have it in their mind to go and research things. So if he put it in your mind, he put it in your heart.
Right.
Your heart is your mind.
But look, everything, wait a minute, Christy, everything I do is what he called me to do, what Christ did. But look, it was another guy, what we talking about, that helped me understand that I am walking in my purpose, in my calling. If this is a calling on my life, I was called to this. You get me? Everything you were talking about. Right.
I know that. That's why I was saying, that's why he put it inside of you. He placed those things inside of you.
Now, I never met my personal father. I never met my father. So my father didn't teach me how to grow up and be responsible and productive and stuff like that. That was the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So everything you're saying is correct. But when my friend told me that by this time, I'm feeding the community, I'm doing all this and doing that, but I'm trying to help everybody else. So what he was saying, Steve, stop trying to help everybody else and just focus on what you're supposed to do. I was spreading stuff out where I was running myself too thin. So I had to just start focusing on my journey, my mission, my calling, and what I was called to do. Rather than, now my goal is to help any and everybody. That's the goal. But you can't help everybody. Remember what we were saying?
Let me tell you what just dropped in my spirit. I ain't gonna cut you off.
No, that's fine.
You know, the reason being all of those things happen to us because we keep saying I.
Yeah.
We move as a unity. You know that, right?
No, you got to come together, but I got you with I got you, but understand, everybody was called. I mean, I'm sorry. Many are called, but few are chosen.
So you got to move in unity with the ones that's chosen.
Didn't I tell you that's what Dante there for? I told you I have a whole team. I prayed.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I prayed for like-minded, God-fearing people. And guess what? A lot of like-minded, God-fearing people that you might know, they wasn't called to be with you like that.
Yep.
The two guys I told you I had to let go that was trying to steal my business. One of the guys supposed to have been a true,
Well, if they one of those people that does stuff like that, they're not like-minded or God. They're not God-fearing, because if they were God-fearing, you know what the Bible tell you. So they can't be God-fearing.
Listen, let me finish telling you. Let me finish telling you. This brother connected with me, talking all of this God Gucci stuff, right? Talking about we need to build our own, it's like redevelopment company, corporation-wise. So I put a lot of us together. But anyway, he's speaking Bible on his knees, talking all this Gucci stuff, right? The other guy I've been knowing that one for 2 years. The other guy I've been knowing for 17 years. Called to my operations manager and all of that. Guess what? On them days I didn't go down to the building because I was homesick, they was down there having meetings behind my back. I got a phone call And I was told, Steve, they down here try to undermine, they trying to steal your business. So I called the board meeting and got rid of them. And it broke me to my heart because I trusted them guys and I had to let them go. You don't do that to me. The one I've been knowing for 17 years, that's what hurt me the most because we grew up in recovery together. And you turned your back on me like that? You turned your back on me like that? And the guy that spoke all that God-fearing stuff and all of this, I introduced to my children. I don't introduce everybody to my children. And you turned on me like that? Get the freak out of my business. And when I did that board meeting that day, they wouldn't come in, but they're gone. Because they knew what I was about to do with my other board members. X them from there. Because number one, if you're about business and you're about the ministry, and if I find out you talking one way and you living the other way, get away from me. Because the moment I discover you for who you is, get away from me. And I don't play. And that broke my heart. And I told my kids what I had to do. Now, they done moved on in other directions, but I had to learn to forgive them anyway. Because one thing you can't do, you can't take nothing that God put in front of me. You can't even steal my business if you try. If you want to do what I do, I can help you do the things. You can emulate it, but you have to carry your own throne. I can help you start whatever you want to do. And you can name it strengthening the community. You can name it encouraging and motivating the community. But you can't still strengthen the community. That's mine. And if you go to register your business, it's going to ask you what makes your business different from other people that's doing the same things. So
I notice a lot of on your page, not too many of us coming in. They don't ever really support when it comes down to stuff like this.
Right. That's most it's really hard to get, and you were saying it's really hard to get Black people to support Black people. And I asked my cousin, I said, why is that? He said, post-traumatic slavery disorder. It's called PTSD. He said it's been passed down generations after generation. So when I hear some Black people be like, oh, the white man this and the white man that, I'm like, there you go. Because this world is not built around just black and white. But we'll make it seem like it. It's other ethnics. I don't want to say race because it's only one race, and that's the human race. We add colors to it, but it's only one race and many colors. So, and I'm going to share this with you too.
Right, you got green apples, yellow apples, and red apples.
You might not pay a lot of attention, but whenever people get into black and white conversations, I'll shut up.
Yeah, I noticed.
Now I'm gonna tell you why. Mm-hmm. Whenever, now mind you, I'm with other organizations, but when we all come together, we'll meet in one spot. It could be all cultures, Jewish, God dang it, I'm trying to think of immigrant stuff. I'm just trying to think of the people, right? Before we go to, say, mainly Annapolis, and we're fighting against a certain bill, I always try to use this as an example, because mainly when it comes to the blacks, whenever I go to fight for our rights with the organization that I'm with, that's what Communities United is about. And if I say it's 250 of us that might go to do a protest or a rally or something like that, how many black people do you think will go and do that rally or protest?
I say about a good strong. I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna say. You say if it's only 200 people.
250 people. Now I'm talking about the group, because we're trying to encourage us to go and fight for our rights. So
I'll say about 75.
75 blacks?
Yeah, 75 blacks, but it's gonna be majority old people.
Nope. It's normally 225 whites and about 25 blacks. And do you know how disappointed that makes me?
I wasn't gonna say that, but I was like,
I know.
I'll try to have a little more hope in our people.
Well, now, what we do, any bills they create, I keep saying it, y'all, to harm the black community, it's hard to get the black community to step up to the plate. So it's more white people that's fighting for our rights than us. But now you have certain groups out there that's like, I don't want to say proactive, but they.
You know why that is though, right? Because some of they people, like, you had some people fought on the Confederate side, and you had some of their people fought on the Union side, right? So the ones who fought on the Confederate side, they didn't fight for our people. You see what I'm saying? But the ones that was on the Union side, they people end up getting unalive too. So of course they gonna probably feel some type of way because they people got unalive as well.
Right.
So they gonna stand up. They're gonna be on our side, but not on our side.
But look. We went to Detroit to fight for the brown people. Equal rights, civil rights, and constitutional rights. Now, who are the brown people?
Like the Mexicans, foreigners, stuff like that.
I did not know until we went from Baltimore City up to Detroit, Michigan, that they was being discriminated against like that. And I said, oh my God, I realized black people ain't the only one being discriminated against.
But you know what? You know why that was it? They brought these people here.
That's not the point. When you look at the constitutional rights, understand everybody have equal rights. So we went and
I understand that. I was gonna say something though.
But look, because I want you to see what's happening, right? Do you know anything about the ACLU?
I heard of it.
Okay, that's the American Civil Liberty Union. They fight. They are like the NAACP, but it's not just geared towards black people. It's geared towards anybody that you're discriminating against their rights. They step up to the plate. Then
a lot of people they don't actually get their voice heard, and they don't actually push these paperwork for them to be able to these people to be able to fight for them.
Well, that's what that group do. Now, another group that does that, because the NAACP isn't the only group out there. Now, wait a minute. Now, I'm going into my message right now. When I tell people, and I'm only telling you groups out there that fights for you, American Civil Union is one. The Center for Popular Democracy, have you ever heard of them?
No, I never heard of them.
Okay.
I heard of that other one you just called them.
Okay. So you know the two names that I mentioned, they don't just fight for the rights of the American citizens, they're overseas too. These are organizations that fights for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. So anytime you hear me use that word, your democracy, they fight for your rights. And it doesn't matter of your ethnic. People don't know that the ACLU is at the border to bring in some of the illegal immigrants for them to become legal. Yeah. So the reason why Trump is deporting some, because there's too many of them coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know, and I shared this the other day, that the government had funding set on the side for illegal immigrants. Did you know that?
Well, I heard about that too.
Right. Now, guess what this lady did?
That funding, like, did that funding cover some of the things that they had, going on? You see what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, it was becoming, like, overwhelmed. Like I said, I ain't even gonna say it. Like, some of the stuff that he started off, honestly, I kind of agree with, because ain't nobody gonna 100% agree with everything.
Well, it's not him. It's not him, because understand, even the Democrats, right? Rather you have a Democratic president in, or rather you have a Republican president in, they still have funding set on the side for so many of them.
Right.
Now, this lady the other day, Christy, I said the government. She come tell me, it's the state. Where do you think the damn money come from? It trickles down. I'm like, they have hotels that they have illegal immigrants in, and helping them to become legal, legal.
Loud and wrong. I be hate when a person be loud and wrong. Like, bitch, motherfucker. Like, what? Like,
It's the governor, right? Brandon Scott, and I be trying to throw people examples, right? For 2024, and this is 25 now, his budget for 2024 was $4.2 billion. The governor was the one that sent him the money to the state. So now, I listened to the mayor talk about everywhere that money was going, except for the inner city. I said, what the fuck? So when I hear people say, now mind you, they get money to rebuild the inner city, they're not using it. Then again, let me do it. Let me move that back. They are, but when you look at gentrification, the goal is you got middle class people that's coming in that can afford the $300,000, $400,000 houses. So they coming in the inner city, putting them up in the inner city, selling them for more expensive. So now our goal, and there's people already doing it, that's making more of the inner city houses affordable for the people that makes around about 30 to 40,000.
But you know why that's so though? Because like you say, you got a lot of us don't go to these city council meetings to find out what's going on. And if we got all these distractions, we don't go to these city council